made the universe this way particularly. I don't think there's any way of knowing between a thing that made a choice to make it an intelligent choice to make it particularly this way, or some necessary cause which grounds all of existence, but which could not have made another existence.
Can I present my exhibit A?
Sure.
DNA. Yeah. You tell me of anything you know of in this universe that you're aware of. Yeah. That contains information that isn't the result of an intelligent agency. Anything you can think of in your human experience.
Sorry, so that contains information.
That contains information that isn't the result of an intelligent agency. Anything.
A photon.
A photon.
A photon traveling from the sun, contains information about its being and where it came from.
No. We're not talking about data. We're talking about information, coding. That's what makes it. Yeah. So, for example, you read a book. You see a book.
So a plant.
A plant.
Yeah, a plant has DNA.
Oh, okay. And where's the DNA? This is the whole point. The plant is made of DNA. The DNA. How does the DNA become a plant? How does the cell become a plant? It's because of the information in the DNA, isn't it? So what I want to know is, my claim is this: the DNA inside, the information inside the DNA has to be, based on my human experience, the result of an intelligent agency. Because I know of nothing that contains it coding in this way that isn't the result of an intelligent agency.
Right, so you admit it's the limits of your knowledge that's leading to you.
No, I'm saying to you, DNA contains information, and I'm asking you, where's that from? Where does the information come from?
So all we can conclude on that is that it came from something.
Came from something.
Which we do not know.
But we've already concluded as well that everything within the universe came from what? Necessary being. Therefore, if we find intelligence, where's the intelligence come from?
Yeah.
Where's it,
I don't think there's a way of knowing between an intelligent being that made things this way as opposed to another, or something that made things this way.
Can I recommend a book for you to read?
Sure.
It's called Signature in the Cell. The Argument for Intelligent Design. Yeah? If you get it's by Stephen Meyer. Yeah? Read that book. Have you read it? No.
Do you know, I want to add to this point, to bolster this, the way I make the argument is as follows. I don't know what your stance is on fine-tuning, like there's different ways of understanding it. But what we know as a fact is the universe exists, and what we also know is that it allows human life to exist. So the universe, whether you want to call it, whether you want to express that through the electromagnetic constant and its so-called fine-tuning or the gravitational, or if you want, as I would take the approach, to do so through the underpinnings of science itself, like the fact that science is regular, that it's uniform, and that it's stable. These are three facts of science which are presuppositional to any experimental method anyway. So one could phrase it in the following way, that the universe is regular, stable, and uniform enough to allow human life to exist. Would you agree with that? It's almost undisputable.
What's the probability of that? You look at probability.
No, so the only problem I have with that stance is that had the universe not been stable enough to support human life, we wouldn't be here to wonder about it.
No, I know, but that's the anthropic principle. No, he's referring to the weak anthropic principle. Yeah. But that's been destroyed in the literature. I don't need to go there. Even John Leslie...
Please do, because I'm not familiar.
No, but what's the
John Leslie... No, do you know what he's saying? Let me say...
Sorry,
he's saying that, like, this is what, you know, Richard Dawkins, once again, he said that, okay, look, even forget about the word probability. We can use it, but I'm saying, do you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the probability is zero.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying 0.1. I'm saying, do you know why? I'm saying that a universe that is regular, stable, and uniform, okay, that sustains human life is a fact that we have. That the universe is regular enough and stable enough and uniform enough to sustain human life, or any life. Yeah? That's a fact. Now you have two options. One option is impossible, one option is necessary. Either that this has come from a necessary existence, which we've already argued for before, or this doesn't come from a necessary existence. It comes from nothing. I'm saying it's impossible for this reality to come from nothing. It's actually impossible.
Yeah, where we disagree on whether or not that was a choice or not.
Yeah, but we have the particularization argument for that.
Yeah. So, but that only shows that if everything here is contingent, then it must have come from a choice.
If
every constituent of the universe is contingent, then it must have been chosen intelligently to be this way.
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's all we want.
that doesn't rule out the possibility that everything is right now is necessarily as it is.
Okay, great. I'm happy you came with this because I considered this and thought about it. Necessity of things within the universe is not a disqualifier to the fact that it comes from a necessary existence. Let me tell you why. The category of necessary fact is different from the category of necessary existence. I'll give you an example.
I agree.
Yeah. So one actually presupposes the other. 2 + 2 = 4 is a necessary fact. Whether you employ a nominalist framework or a conceptual one, or you believe in a Neoplatonic one, you have to accept that 2 + 2 = 4. And that's necessary. There's no way of manipulating that reality. However, that necessary fact, that 2 + 2 = 4, is contingent on the existence of necessary things. And so the necessary existence, in the category of existence, you have the necessary existence. In the category of facts, you have many necessary facts. In other words, all necessary facts depend upon the necessary existence because existence presupposes the expression of facts.
Yeah.
So for what I'm saying is, even if you say the universe is necessarily this way, we wouldn't actually disagree with you. We would say if it's necessarily this way, it's not a choice that's dichotomous or trichotomous or otherwise aside from the choice which is that the universe, it relies on the necessary existence. In fact, it's in line with that because you can have something which is necessary in the universe, but only so because it's depending upon the necessary thing.
Yes.
So in other words, this bottle.
If you have a necessary being and a contingent universe, you necessarily have a choice to make it that way instead of another. If you have a necessary being and a necessary universe, then there's the possibility that that necessary being created it that way and could not have done otherwise.
Say that one more time.
So if you have a necessary being and a universe which is necessarily this way, then there's the possibility that that necessary being had no opportunity to choose otherwise, that it necessarily created the universe as it is like this.
I accept, but here's where we need to be careful because, as I say, this bottle is contingent in why I was very careful to say the word in abstraction. In and of itself, this bottle, there's nothing about it which is necessary. There was some time it has a lifespan. The fact that this bottle had an inception contradicts the fact that it's necessary in and of itself. However, that the fact
a necessary being or a necessary fact,
a necessary a necessary thing, whatever this bottle is, entity.
The fact that it had a star.
Yeah, that means in and of itself, this bottle is not necessary.
This bottle as a whole is not eternal.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that that bottle came into existence at the moment that it did.
Yes.
Why is that?
Yes.
Contingent.
No, you're right. That isn't. We're saying that there's two perspectives. From one perspective, this bottle is contingent. From another perspective, if it's connected to the antecedent causal chain from a deterministic perspective, or to the necessary existence, then it actually becomes necessary.
Yeah.
So it's necessary in and of it's contingent with respect to itself, but necessary with respect to its connection with the necessary existence.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? Just to finish off. Therefore, even if we say that the laws of nature are necessary, they cannot be necessary in and of them or as a result of themselves. They have to be necessary in respect to the necessary existence, or the antecedent causal chain, which we would say ends with the necessary existence. Does that make sense? So there's two aspects of it. In and of itself, in abstraction, this bottle is contingent. But when connected to the necessary existence, it's necessary. We believe in something called, as Muslims, qadar. I'm not going to bring religious concepts, but we believe this bottle, from one perspective, is contingent. It's actually our belief. So this is sorted out. From one perspective, it's contingent, but from another perspective, it was always meant to be. Because God, He decided for that. When God decided, then there was no other way that this bottle was going to be except for that way. So there is a kind of, not determinism, we are compatibilists, determinism that we do believe though. You see what I mean? But the point is that even if we say, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because classically the fine-tuning argument, like William Lane Craig and those guys, when they make it, they say that it's either chance.
This is my question.
Yeah.
Do you believe the universe is deliberate or accidental?
So you mean deliberately it's this way and it has to be this way?
No. The universe came into existence deliberately, or it came into existence accidentally?
I don't think we can know.
Right. So if it came into existence deliberately, accidentally, what are the chances it would be the way it is? Because you'll make the probability.
I'm not sure we can know that either.
Well, no, because.
But so if accidentally, then
how many ways? All right.
Then
how many
it could
ways?
have been.
How many ways?
So
could this
one over the number of ways.
If we're talking about an accident, sorry, I know.
No, it's cool.
Because we're talking about an accidental universe. Let's take that as a perspective. You don't know either way. So let's look at the accidental idea.
But one over big. One over huge.
Well, there's more. I think there's more particles in the universe when it comes to the zeros that would be on that probability.
Yeah. But it's still a number that's greater than zero.
Yeah, but okay. If I ask you a very simple question, who wrote the works of William Shakespeare? Was it William Shakespeare, or a guy claiming to William Shakespeare, or was it a billion monkeys on a billion typewriters writing over a billion years?
It would take longer than a billion years.
Okay. Is it probable? Is it zero, or is it possible?
It's possible that it was.
Right. It's possible. It's possible.
Well, no, because the number of monkeys that have been alive aren't sufficient for the amount of time we've had.
I think you're making his case
The
for
point
him.
I'm making is very, very simple. The odds of a billion monkeys, over a billion
Having
years,
written the works of Shakespeare.
right, the works of Shakespeare,
Yeah.
is the same probability of this universe fine-tuning itself by accident to create life, support life.
Okay.
That's the probability. And your mate, Strabo, what's his name? Strabo. He came here. It's more probable that the universe is a product of itself and created itself, and there is no creator and all of these things. And these are the probabilities you work for. And it gets worse when you look at the probability of carbon forming in stars accidentally. And it gets even worse about the probabilities of the single cell creating DNA. Creating the DNA randomly mutating for something beneficial. You've got that. They've got the probability in biology that's absurd. You've got the probability in chemistry, which is absurd, and the probability in physics.
So had the laws of the universe been even slightly different in some respects, life would not be sustainable.
That's one way of making the argument, and that's fine. And he's being generous with you because he's saying that there's some possibility. I'm saying that it's impossible.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying.
But why? Because if it's even slightly possible, the fact that it did happen is the only reason that we can sit here and wonder about why it did.
No, but you're going to the anthropic.
The only circumstances in which we can even ask the question, how probable was it that this was created by accident, are those in which that small probability came to actuality.
All right, either that small probability happened random chance, or it's deliberately made the way it is perfectly from the beginning.
Okay, sure, but you're still set there 50-50 either way.
No.
No, it's definitely not 50-50.
How is that 50-50? The probability is
I toss a coin every morning, man.
There's more particles in the universe than there are zeros in that probability.
Hamza's making a very strong point here, and I think deep down, I think you agree with him. But here's what I want to add.
Okay, so why is it zero?
I'm saying it's zero. I'm saying it's worse than zero. I'm saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's the equivalent of a squared circle.
Okay, why?
The reason why is because if the universe can't do anything by itself, to itself like that. In other words, what I'm saying is when we say classically, the way that the fine-tuning argument has been made, when I was growing up, the way I've heard it being made, is that there's three options. Either it's necessity, or it's chance, or it's what do you call it? The third thing is that it's creation or causation or something. Yeah, that's something.
Causation. What's trouble?
Or creation or something like that, or design. These are the three.
Yeah.
There's either design or necessity or.
What's the difference between design and necessity?
That's a good question. That's my question, actually. When I was at university one time, I had a conversation with a very famous Christian academic called Alistair McGrath. And I said to him, I had a conversation after one lesson, and I said to him, look, I don't necessarily agree. I was checking my work with him. I said, I don't necessarily agree that there's a difference between necessity and design. Because as we've just described, if the necessary existence designs something, it becomes necessary. So there's no dichotomy between necessity and design. So already, one would have to justify why we're choosing A over B in that situation. So already, you can have necessity and design already in the same space. When it comes to chance, I actually think chance is impossible. Because what are we saying here? The universe is regular and stable and uniform to the extent whereby we know that human life or any life exists within it. how can that happen? Either it comes from nothing, which is impossible because something cannot come from nothing, or it comes from itself, which entails a self-contradiction because something cannot self-create or generate. Something cannot self-generate, yeah, like that. Or,
Apart from the necessary being.
no, but we don't say it's self-generating, we're saying it's always been like that, necessarily, because if it generates, it indicates non-existence to
Don't
existence.
forget, one of the qualities of the necessary being is eternality.
Yeah, so it's not self-generating in that sense. I know what you're saying, but it's not self-generating in the sense that it didn't exist, then it existed. So it goes back to this trichotomy. Either, so the universe, the laws of nature could not be such that the way that, or that the universality, the uniformity and regularity and stability of the universe can allow human being to exist, or human life to exist, or any life to exist. That can't be the case as a matter of impossibility. One would have to explain how something like that, the fact that the universe is regular, stable and uniform, such that it allows human life or any life to exist, how that either comes from nothing or that it makes itself.